Ladies and gentlemen, this is Let's Be Blunt, episode 3. I want to thank everyone for love and support. A lot of my friends have said, hey man, really good, keep going. And that's what I'm going to do. And today's episode, I'm going to talk about food fuel. It's just going to be kind of like, I'm just going to touch base. I'm not really going to, it's not going to be a very long-winded show. It's just going to kind of touch base real quick on, quality of food and, overall health. And that's about it. So let's jump right into it. Let's start off with water. Water is obviously the key to life. I mean, you can go weeks without eating, but you gotta drink water. you can only go so long without water in your system. So, people are stranded out in the desert or in the middle of nowhere. Like, the first thing you need to look for is water. It's not food, it's not shelter. First priority is water. You need water. Our bodies are, I don't remember, I could be wrong, like 70% water, 70% liquid. That should alone tell you that how important water is. And the fact that water is so important for us is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because people are more conscious today about how much water they're drinking. People are drinking more water. I mean, there's actually, once upon a time, when you went to the store, you didn't have so many water selections, so many brands of water, different kinds of water to drink. But on the bad side, big business has decided to put a price on that water that you're drinking. And, that is kind of good and bad because obviously we live in a nation, a capitalist nation, and that's what moves this nation forward is capitalism. But at the same time, putting a price on a commodity that really shouldn't have a price. It's water, it's life. It's life-giving water. And somebody said, well, I'm going to put a dollar sign amount on this and I'm going to sell it. People are okay with this. I'm not saying that water should be free. Maybe it should, because, just like it's going to get to the point where people are going to charge us to breathe. And believe it or not, if people did their homework and looked up what Agenda 21 is all about, that's where it's going. It's going to a point where you're going to be charged for how much garbage you produce out of your house and how much air you consume and just weird stuff like that. It's gonna be real crazy. It's gonna be real crazy. But focusing back on the food thing, I would suggest to people who want to break the monopoly to buying jugs of water or packs, of bottled water, invest in a water filtration system. And there's several different companies out there that are really good that, eliminate the different chlorines, the different, minerals. Well, they actually preserve some of the minerals that you do need because you don't want to eliminate all minerals out of your water. Believe it or not, you do need, your body does need some minerals to function. And but what you really don't need are the metals. And there's, believe it or not, there's metals like fluoride. You don't need fluoride in water. And in many municipalities around the country, the amount of fluoride being used in the water is outrageous. Now, once upon a time, fluoride was being pumped into the water to preserve our teeth. But you can talk to any dentist, and any dentist will tell tell you that the amount of fluoride is being pumped into your drinking water is not called for. And in fact, what fluoride does do, it's a neurotoxin, just like mercury. You know, it'll make you stupid. In layman terms, it'll make you stupid, and it'll slowly dumb you down. So, you know, if you want to do better as far as just water itself, invest in a water filtration system. Buy yourself, you know, the container to carry your own personal water in. Trust me, your body will appreciate it that much more. As far as groceries, you know, we're all, you know, we all have to go to the grocery store to buy food. Some of us don't have, you know, the time or the resources to, you know, drive 50, 60 miles out of town to go to a farm. But what we do have is we have farmers markets. Now, I'm pretty sure just about, you know, every town in the U.S., not saying every, well, just about most towns in the U.S. have farmers markets. And if you took the time on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, or Sunday afternoon, when you're not very busy or you're not doing as much as you normally would during the week, yeah, maybe you should take that time and actually go buy your produce from the farmer who actually took the time to grow it, who didn't use the artificial pesticides, who, you know, a head of lettuce, you know, at the grocery store is like this, but when you go to that farmer, his head of lettuce is maybe half the size. And you ask yourself, well, I'm getting more lettuce at the grocery store. No, you're getting more pumped in chemicals from the grocery store. His head of lettuce actually has nutrients. More so than, you know, the head of lettuce. Now, mind you, you may have to pay $3 for a head of lettuce, whereas at the grocery store it's $1. But you have to ask yourself the question, yeah, it's cheaper and I'm getting more, but is the quality the same? And that's you know, it's very difficult to, you know, sway people's minds on quality. For some reason, that's something that doesn't really matter to us. It's, I want more for my dollar. And that's a great mindset, but in the long run, getting more for your dollar is getting less out of your body. And if, you know, if that sacrifice is worth more to you, if it's worth more to get out of your dollar than to get more, you know, production out of your body, then by all means, go, you know, continue, disregard this, you know, this video, and, you know, turn it off, continue doing what you were doing. But if you want to, you know, empower yourself and do a little bit, you know, live a longer life, live a, you know, more energetic life, please continue listening. So yeah, you know, farmers markets, excellent source, excellent way to support your local farmer, and, you know, give him some much needed business that, you know, your local grocery store is not giving him, because your local grocery store, most grocery store chains don't get their produce locally. They get their produce shipped in by Guam. And half the time the stuff is trucked across the country from these big, mega-sized, commercialized farms. That these farms are, you know, using all sorts of hormones to grow their produce, all sorts of chemicals, pesticides, you know, and all this runoff is in your food. And, you know, when you ask yourself, you know, when you're at the age of 30 and you're taking, you know, 35, you're taking all these weird medications for weird ailments that you have that don't even run in your family, this is why. This is why you have to take all these weird prescription pills because you've been consuming bullshit all your life. And, when you're young, you can probably get away with consuming bullshit, but as you get older, bullshit will catch up to you. But, going back to the farmer, support your local farmer. And then, another thing is some people don't like consuming, some people just don't like vegetables. Some people say, oh, I like fruit, but I don't really like vegetables. Well, you kind of have to grow up. You kind of have to, if your parents didn't make you eat your vegetables, then guess what? Maybe it was the way your parents would prepare the vegetables, and that's why you don't like vegetables. Maybe you should try, eating vegetables, different kinds of ways. You don't necessarily have to boil everything. Sometimes you can saute stuff. Sometimes you can bake it. You can, whatever, and you're still getting the same, more or less nutrients. Growing up, I hated asparagus. God, I hated asparagus. But my wife decided, one day she put a little bit of olive oil, some pepper, put them in the oven, kind of toasted them up, and one of my favorite, one of my favorite foods that she makes is, she bakes the asparagus in the oven. Delicious, amazing. It tastes delicious. It's, there's just, it's true what they say. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm not saying eat cats, but I'm just saying, the figure of speech. Let's see what else. But again, if you're not into veggies and fruits, then do some research and try out protein shakes. The protein shake world has been revolutionized now. There is a whole plethora of protein shakes and protein powders and protein bars and different drinks that you get the same amount of nutrition that you would from eating a plate of vegetables and fruits. Now, be careful with how much you consume, because a lot of this stuff, if you're not regularly working out or exercising, or you really need to read what it is exactly you're consuming. A lot of this stuff is poorly manufactured, and you're really not doing any justice to your body. So if you're gonna go the route of protein powders, shakes, bars, whatever, fruit fruit smoothies and stuff like that, really do some research. But yes, a lot of people have discovered, I personally discovered, that's an excellent way to lose weight, is basically replacing one, maybe two of your daily meals with a smoothie or a protein shake. And I lost a lot of weight in a year. I lost close to 90 pounds 1 year doing that. And that's actually what I'm working on again. So I'm actually the weight that I lost, I gained it back. And I gained it back because I just started making very, very poor food choices. I kind of just relapsed and went back to,